Shalom Aleichem, it's Shabbos Parshas Re'eg, Shabbos Rosh Chodesh, Shabbos Mocha Chodesh. Elul begins. What does Elul remind us of? Well, in Brisk they used to say, even the fish tremble in the pond during Elul. In Chabad they said, the air is different during Elul. What's the difference? You might simply say, whether it's a concept, an idea of fear or love. Trembling fear is the fish trembling in the water. The air is healthy, therapeutic, the air. It doesn't mean that in Chabad they didn't take it seriously. Boy, did they take it seriously. My father told me he learned in Lud by Reb Shlomo Chaim in the 1950s in the yeshiva in Eretz Yisrael, and he told me how there was a 30% increase at least in the amount of students who would daven ba'arichas, who would daven much longer Shabbos, would minimize their gossip and their lashon hara, would also not speak as much during the month of Elul, and were immersed in Torah and Avodah, in Yiras Shamayim. That's right, in the Lubavitch Yeshiva. On the wall of 770 until today, a note goes up, starting this Sunday, that one is encouraged to learn Derech Chaim of the Mittler Rebbe, which is a book of tshuva. They say, I think about the Chassid of Shmuel Greinam, that when he just opened up the Derech Chaim, he started to cry with tears because of the pachad, because of the fear, the awe, the Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur is coming, where am I, what's going to be, and all that. But all of that, like a Chassid takes it. How does a Chassid take it? What's a Chassid? A chassid is doing for others. I said it before and I'll say it again. Reb Chaim Shalom Deitch was bringing once Chavdala Tevis, the Alter Rebbe's yahrzeit in Bet Shemesh in Eretz Yisrael, and he started the Farbrengen by saying, guys, there must have been 50, 60 chassidim with the entire regalia of dress, and he said, when I get up in the morning, if I think about myself and my family, I become morbid and depressed and upset. This one has this problem, this one doesn't have enough money, this one doesn't have children, this one doesn't have good health. But when I start thinking about what I did for others and what I continue to try to do for others, it makes me happy. Doing things for others makes a person happy. The Rebbe told people who had depression to get involved in volunteer work, because when you do for others, you become happier. This month of Elul, in a way, it's a heavy month. It's heavy. You know, Tishrei, the month of the holidays, it's an exciting month. It's a very busy month. The Medrash says it's Merubah b'Moedos. There's an abundance of holidays during, you're busy. You're the shofar and the meal and the kapparas and the sukkah and the lulav esrog and dancing with the Torah and the outreach and the sukkah mobile, everything else, right? And learning the Chassidus, of course, on all of those holidays, to know the inner meaning of what's really going on. But nevertheless, there's a month Elul, and that's the month we're at right now. The focus should be Elul. Avram Mayor told me that Elul is an acronym for Ober L'chaim, Vider L'chaim. Once L'chaim, once toast and say L'chaim, make a toast to say L'chaim, and another time say L'chaim. In other words, a chassid goes about the month of Elul, the avoid of Elul, the avoid of tshuva, of preparing yourself, of making a cheshbon nefesh, an account of what did I do this year, who did I hurt, who did I upset, how can I be better between man and between man and God, with freilichkeit, with happiness, with L'chaim. In order to take the L'chaim properly and to use it in the right way, it doesn't come from just drinking. Drinking leads to terrible things. saying l'chaim like a yid. A yid is not shikr. A yid is freilach. A yid is not intoxicated. A yid is happy. With what is he happy? That he comes to understand that it's all about God, and that God took him into the circle. God involved him in his creation, in his plan, in his design. I was in a store last night, and I'm walking in, and someone says, Rabbi Dolphin, and he jumps up from his seat and he comes over, he says, Shalom Aleichem. I'm so happy to see you. And I say, who are you? And he tells me his name, and he says, I know you from your YouTube clips, from these clips. I said, okay, very nice. He says, I must tell you that I've been watching and I've hooked to your clips. I said, no, Baruch Hashem, I hope it's helpful. And he says, I grew up in East Flatbush, and I went to Elul Torah Day Camp, and I went to the Rebbe, and I saw a lot of things. Today he's an administrator somewhere in a yeshiva out of town. He says, and you're dealing with a lot of sensitive things there, and you're doing a good job at it. And I'm not just telling you that to blow my horn. I'm saying that for the following reason. Hear me well, loud and clear. We need to be a walking and living example of the Rebbe, of Chassidus, of Chassidim, of Torah. There's an expression in the yeshiva world, as me geht auf ein richtigen Weg, trefft man sich. If you're on the right path, you meet each other. We need to be on the right path. If you're going on the right path, trust me, you'll inspire people, you'll help people. Today in the world of social media, how much more so we have an opportunity, every one of us, to bring Torah and Chassidus to more and more Yidden. All Yidden. Not to say I'm only here for non-observant Yidden, or I'm only here for Hasidic Jews, etc. For all Yidden. Comes the month of Elul, Ani l'doidi v'doidi li, I am to my beloved, and my beloved to me, which is the standard acronym for Elul, which refers to tshuva, returning to God. And we tell each other, and we're saying to each other and to ourselves, tshuva requires humility, bittul, subservience to the higher power of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How do you get that? Through Abba L'chaim, Bittul L'chaim. So this is what I want you to do this Shabbos, Rabbi say. And the following 4 weeks. I want you to once a week make an account for 5 minutes of what you did the past week. Each week, what did I do the past week? If I tell you to think about what you did a month ago, 2 months ago, you won't remember. Just a week before, try that. And on Shabbos, I want you to learn Chassidus. From the Alter Rebbe, Maimer Anila Doidi, page Lamed Beis, in Likutei Torah, in the book of Devarim. The heart of Likutei Torah, the Rebbe once said, is at the Maimer Anila Doidi, where he talks about the Melech Basada. The king is in the field. Someone wrote to me today, the king is in the field, and I wrote back, not just the king is in the field, the king is in your house, and the king is in you. And the question is, am I, with the king being in me, is my house ready for the king? Would I be proud that the Melech comes into my house? Will I be proud that the Melech comes into my office, to my car, to my vacation spot? That's the question. That's a tough one, right? It's a real tough one to ask that question. We don't want to ask that question. We don't want to confront that, because we know, as we say in Yiddish, wie bitter es is, how bitter it is, because my house and myself and my vacation spot and my car, it's not yet the way it's fit for a melech. So this is the month when the king is in the field. He says, let me in. I'm here already. I'm at your door. You're going to let me stand in the field and stand outside? I want to come in. So let's all think about the Melech Basada and understand that Hashem loves us. Hashem is not biting us this month and saying, you don't do tshuva, you're going to burn. If you don't do this or you aren't this way, you have no connection. God forbid, every Jew is connected. But you can be nicer, and you can be smarter, and you need to be nicer, and you need to be smarter. And you need to be animated. And you need to be excited. Another year, another opportunity, another Chodesh Elul. May Hashem help each and every one of us to go with Shleimus, to go with Shabbos Re'eh, Rosh Chodesh Elul, say L'chaim Taka Shabbos, Abba L'chaim, Vid L'chaim, and we should be Zeicha, we should merit to the Gula Shleima, B'karev Mamish, L'mata Masaret Tfachim, right here on earth, together with all the Meshagas. And we'll be Zeicha to go with Mashiach Tzidkenu, Yerushalayim, Yer HaKodesh, Amen, Ve'amen, a guten Shabbos, Erev Shabbos, and a guten Erev Rosh Chodesh.